So here we are with Christiaan Stoop, executive chef of 3 Michelin Star Taian Table Shanghai, person that is bringing new generation of global fine dining to a modern China.
It was for me when I was 16 years old. He arranged me to stay in Shanghai for 10 days at the guest family.
Basically, that visit impacted your choice of career?
For sure.
Do you have Chinese name, by the way?
Some people call me Gao Gao.
Because you're Gao?
It starts with a career, then you get new habits, you meet amazing people, you get into a routine.
Is there something specific you think it requires from a person to succeed in China, particularly?
If you're stubborn with your own ideas and what is right and what is wrong, you're not going to come far.
Michelin history started, was it like a tire company?
2 brothers actually, to encourage the people to drive more, so they use more of their tires.
Oh, that's so genius.
Michelin pushes us to do our best, and it's a great reminder to make sure that we are consistent. But at the end of the day, we always aim to cook for the guests. Right now, we change the menu every 3 months.
What is one Chinese ingredient you cannot live without? Shall we cut this part so nobody knows about it?
Yeah, please. Fine dining restaurants, Michelin restaurants, become more open, more casual. If I can give one tip, it is just asking for presents. The worst is if somebody has like a dessert and they take so long the picture, you see literally that ice cream melting, then you're like, oh, okay, maybe you overdone it a little bit. I thought that China is just Chinese cuisine. Now I understand which one. China is so big, so many different cuisines. Every chef should come to China to see what it's all about. I also like to man lai, step by step.
2 travel destinations you recommend people visiting China?
Chengdu.
In Chengdu, that's how we do. Reaching to this level made you a calmer person or more anxious?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Cheers.
So here we are with Christiaan Stoop, executive chef of 3 Michelin Star Taian Table Shanghai, 2 Michelin Star Guangzhou, Taian, total 5 stars, 3 knives recipient at the Best Chef Awards, person that is bringing new generation of global fine dining to a modern China. Thank you so much for being here today, Christiaan.
Pleasure meeting you. Thank you for having me here today.
I always start my podcast with asking my guests, when was the first time they started conversation with China? So when was it for you?
It was for me when I was 16 years old. And it actually started to sort of convince my dad that I can move abroad also for a job. I knew at that time that I wanted to become a cook or a chef. And I knew back then that it's very important to travel abroad as well. I was a very introverted person. So my family was sort of pushing me, okay, you should go abroad for a little time, see if it's actually something that suits you. And through a connection of my uncle who lives in Singapore at that time, he arranged me to stay in Shanghai for 10 days at the guest family.
Oh, okay.
We combined that with a cooking workshop where I sort of learned how to cook traditional Chinese cuisine, whether it was using the wok or making xiaolongbao.
That's really hard to make, by the way, especially when you're 16.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you have small hands, so it's a bit easier, but it was very exciting. I didn't know anything about Shanghai, and it felt very confusing, very energetic. And then I came back after those 10 days of Shanghai, and it convinced me that I wanted to become a chef, because it was something I've never seen or explored before, whether it was ingredients, lifestyle, smells, the pace of Shanghai. It was already back then incredible and very different than Europe. So it was a very good time for me at that.
Oh, so basically that visit impacted your choice of career?
For sure. It opened my eyes to see that, okay, you can cook obviously in Germany and Bavaria, but there might be a possibility to move abroad and see cities like Shanghai.
Do you have Chinese name, by the way?
Not really.
You don't?
Some people call me Gao Gao.
Because you're Gao?
So in the kitchen, some people call me Gao Gao.
I also actually moved to China when I was 16. For the first 5 years, I remember people asking me what I'm doing in China. I would say like, I'm studying. And then on the 6th year, I changed the studying word into I'm living in China. So once I changed that studying to living, my idea of China and my understanding of what Shanghai is to me in my life also switched. When was for you when you realized this place is not anymore the place you work, it's sort of a place you build your life?
I came to Shanghai first for a career, for the opportunity to work with Stefan Stiller at Taian Table as a head chef. I think it took me 1 or 2 years to sort of have that feeling. I think around 2 years. It starts with a career, then you get new habits, you meet amazing people, you get into a routine. And then you start slowly but surely to understand the city and the country step by step. So after 2 years, that's when I realized, okay, now this is a place I really like to be. And the turning point is when you start comparing it to Europe, I guess. And that was for me after the 2-year mark. And I said, okay, this has nothing to do with Europe anymore. I don't want to go back for now. Right now, I'm very happy here. This is my life here right now. Yeah.
That's an interesting point, because once you're here, you start comparing, and then as much as you compare, you're still as an outsider.
Exactly, and you, well, maybe get even more homesick or think you're missing out on something. But now all my friends are here, my network is here, the people who I like to spend time with are here. I love the food here, the environment of chefs is amazing, it's very emerging. It's never boring, and I really enjoy that about Shanghai.
A lot of people, I think, misunderstand the difficulty of moving abroad when you're really young, because it's not about just changing geographically, but it's also about your entire lifestyle system is changing, like the way you grow up, like your ideology, your lifestyle habits. Is there something specific you think it requires from a person to succeed in China, particularly?
Well, I think moving abroad, whether it's Shanghai or somewhere else, forces you to change, forces you to adapt. And the people who are very comfortable with their surroundings will have a very hard time. If you're not willing to adapt, if you're not willing to be curious and open-minded, you're going to have a very hard time here, especially in Shanghai. But I would say that for anyone who lives abroad, if you're stubborn with your own ideas and what is right and what is wrong, you're not going to come far.
It's always a struggle for people, right? You want just be water, my friend.
Yeah, sort of, exactly.
No
sugar, just.
Well, you're the first guest that has any other cup here.
Thank you.
I've heard that Michelin story history started. Was it like a tire company?
Correct.
That was encouraging people to travel?
Correct.
I think a lot of people don't know where it's coming from. Everybody says Michelin, but then they don't really know the background story.
2 brothers, actually. They sort of started as a tire company. They sort of wanted to encourage the people to drive more. So they use more of their tires.
Because you can travel and experience all this place.
And then they came up with their books and with their guides.
Oh, that's so genius.
And then I remember, I read that somewhere, that one of the brothers at some point when they launched that book, which was free to use apparently, one of the brothers saw in a garage that somebody used the book to even out the table. So he got very offended. And then they say, okay, we need to make it more luxurious. We need to establish it a bit better. Then they decide, okay, let's put the price tag on. Let's make sure we only select the best restaurants in our country. And let's come up with a distinction, 1, 2, and 3 star, to say, okay, 1 star is worth a stop, 2 stars is worth a detour, and 3 stars is worth a travel, a journey.
So what personally for you does it mean to work in a restaurant that actually owns total 5 stars?
Michelin pushes us to do our best, and it's a great reminder to make sure that we are consistent. But at the end of the day, we always aim to cook for the guests. A very good reminder for all of us that, okay, what we are looking for, what excellence we're looking for. But in the end of the day, we always cook for the guests, for the individuals. We make sure that they have an amazing evening with amazing food, service, music. It's the full package. It's very important that just everyone has an amazing evening.
3 stars is the maximum you can get?
Correct.
What comes after that?
Maintaining and reinventing and changing the menu every time, making sure that you keep innovating, that you don't become complacent. And I think that is actually the hardest part, making sure that we are always on top of our game, that the team is always motivated, that we have a vision which is always aligned towards using the best products, in the best possible way. We challenge ourselves even more by changing the menu so often. The adaptation is a very important point for us as well, to make sure, okay, how do we launch the menu and how do we teach the team to cook each and every dish.
Why it's so important for you as a chef to update the menu often?
Right now, we change the menu every 3 months. It keeps us going. It keeps us creative. It keeps the mind switched on. China has so many amazing products. The more we travel and the more we look for different ingredients, we realize that we know very little. I'm over 4 years here now, and still there's so many ingredients I never heard of. And it's very exciting to use them. To develop new recipes with the team. I think that's actually the most exciting part of our job right now, is not only maintaining, but evolving and keep reinventing our dishes and revisiting ideas we had maybe a couple of months ago. So every time when we step into the kitchen, it's a new day where you don't go on repeat. Yes, we have our systems in place to make sure that our daily operation is spot on, but at the same time we already work on the new menu. It's a bit of multitasking.
I'm thinking for artists, even for musicians, you get inspired from, I don't know, sunrise, the smell of something or a sunset, music. As a chef, what makes you inspired, especially because when you craft the menu, right? Do you have any specific that makes you feel inspired?
First, for us, it's the season. The season sort of tells us what we should use. And I think we need to respect that as a chef. So especially in China, you have those micro seasons, which is very interesting. So that is the first and foremost important for us as the main product. And then we build our things around the main product that highlights and pushes the product even more forward. Experiences of things maybe I've cooked in the past, things I really enjoyed during my time in India, or my heritage from Bavaria, that we use some elements to support that. It can be a conversation we have in the kitchen with all of us together. It can be going to a museum and looking at a piece of art and you think, okay, wow, that's amazing. Or a childhood memory from something you ate as a child, which is maybe a bit quirky, maybe a little bit weird, and you start building on it. What we try to do is, the moment we think we have an idea, is also what Stefan taught me, which is very valuable, is we're planting a seed. So let's say we saw something amazing with a duck, or I don't know, you're saying, okay, let's lock that in mentally, plant that seed, whether we use it in this menu, in the next menu. But every time when we see that seed, maybe we put another idea on it, and then after a couple of months, that idea will grow, or sometimes it won't. We are always trying to listen and respect every idea we have, and to lock it in and to see, okay, maybe we can work on it.
What is one Chinese ingredient you cannot live without?
I think doubanjiang is just so underrated. Think of soy sauce with spice. Like, that's douban or doubanjiang for me. I think when people are waking up to it, European chefs are waking up to doubanjiang, I think you will see it everywhere. It's so underrated. I love that ingredient.
Do you feel like sharing that secret to people?
I'm sharing it right now. So
I'm like, you already shared it to people. Shall we cut this part so nobody knows about it?
Yeah, please. I think it's a matter of time that people realize that doubanjiang is very interesting. Yeah, this fermented broad bean with the chili, and then you have different years of aging.
Even like that? Okay.
Yeah, we use it all the time. Right now, we use it for our new menu for the king crab. We make a carrot and doubanjiang puree, which is phenomenal. It stays in your mouth for so long. And it's not just spicy. It's like, it's so umami packed. It's, like I said, soy sauce with punch. It's great.
Sounds great.
Yeah, right. It's a combination. Obviously, it's thick, has nothing to do with soy sauce, but the flavor profile is quite similar.
Food and art, they are very like personalized things, right? It's like you can never really generalize. And also when it comes to critics as well, me as a musician, I never understood the idea, sorry. Because I think it's such a personal thing. A lot of things I like, a lot of people don't, and vice versa, right? So how do you balance your personal taste when you craft the menu versus what public likes or what they want?
So I came to the conclusion that if we have it very rare, but if someone says that they didn't particularly like one dish, used to get a bit offended a couple of years ago. And I realized, okay, no, like you said, some people listen to hip hop, some people listen to classic music. That is fine. But I do think as a chef, first and foremost, we need to understand that it's a craftsmanship, because there are certain rules you need to follow. There are certain things you need to understand before you start cooking. And that's why so many chefs go to culinary school. They get a proper degree, because you first need to understand the basics, and then you can build on those basics. I don't know, you're in that business. It's a little bit, someone told me once, it's a little bit like playing jazz. Before you play jazz, you first need to understand every instrument and the bass and the technical aspect of it. And then you can create. I see it exactly the same way as a chef, as a cook. You need to first understand all the basics. What is cooking based on? It is French cuisine, it's European cuisine, and Taian Table, it's European cuisine. What we use as a base, what we use as a language, as a reference point. And on top of that, we build. And then we take influences from, of course, China, India, Korea, wherever. But we always go back to our base, our foundation, and then we become creative.
Michelin restaurants are somehow misunderstood in terms of, again, back to if I compare it with classical music, there are so many unspoken rules. A lot of people get intimidated before going to a concert hall. They'll be like, especially when they listen to, you cannot clap between the movements, you cannot speak loud, you cannot watch your phone, so many restrictions. Michelin star restaurants, probably some high-end restaurants, also require some unspoken rules of like cutlery, how to start, where to start, the glasses. Why do you think sometimes those experiences can feel more intimidating in the restaurant?
Maybe they still have I would say, a older picture of fine dining. Fine dining is changing as we speak. Fine dining restaurants, Michelin restaurants, become more open, more casual. The food is very serious, but we understand now in the industry, it's not only about the food, it's about making sure that people have a good time, that it's very emotion driven, that they just feel welcomed, and the food needs to be spot on, of course, but there's so many restaurants now that are going the other way and say, okay, let's do it a bit more casual, remove this slight, what you said, stigma of pressure, white tablecloth, which cutlery to use.
From outside in.
From outside in, correct. That has changed. To 80% of all restaurants, that has changed. There's still a couple of more traditional restaurants who are doing that, which I also respect. I don't think there are any rules anymore how the guests should behave. If I can give one tip, it is just asking for presence. If people go in and they're present, and they put their phone away and they just enjoy the moment. I think that goes for anything, whether it's going to a concert or watching a movie or go to a museum and watching art. I give you a present. I think that is already more than enough. And then we as chefs, as a host, are very, very happy as well. We see that people are really trying to understand, trying to enjoy the moment. I think that's it. Be present.
But with this era of social media, especially such a beautiful creation at Taian Table, you want to capture it, right? Sometimes I feel like when the chefs see us doing that, including me, not too much, but sometimes, is it anyhow not disrespectful, distracting, or do you actually like to see that people actually want to capture it?
I think there's no right and wrong, and as long as the people are not overly doing it, we are fine with it. We are spending so much time on those creations, on those dishes. So we are happy, of course, when people take pictures, as long as it's not affecting the dish, because we are still looking for perfection. We are aiming that everything is cooked to on point. The worst is if somebody has like a dessert and they take so long the picture, you see literally the ice cream melting, then you're like, oh, okay, maybe you overdone it a little bit. But other than that, if you just take a couple of pictures and then you continue eating, we're more than fine.
I want to talk a little bit about dining culture in China. Probably you have noticed that when you go for a Chinese dinner, there are so many rules, unspoken, back to unspoken rules, that like, where do you sit? Like where the host sits, they have to face the door, so they see everybody coming in. And then your left and right side is also, depending how important your guests are, pouring tea for everyone. Also drinking together, right? It's like you cannot have your speed. Everybody has to cheer together. Have you encountered any of those like unspoken dining rules that you can think of that you were like, okay?
What you said in the beginning, that is the biggest one. Like the host needs to face the door, needs to have the more important left and the right side. I do think the drinking culture here as well is to bond a lot, to get also business done. I was very surprised how communal and how engaging dining in China is. Those sharing plates, and it's fun having local food with locals because it's very engaging.
You talked about like Western dining, right? It's so different that because in West, let's say most of the time you have your own plate. It's very personalized serving. Like you have your food. In China, it's everything is shared. Which again, back to nothing right or wrong. It's just very different. How do you embrace both?
I do think in Europe it's changing a little bit. People realize sharing is just more fun.
Yes, please share because it's so like we want to try your food sometimes.
There are also many chefs who are already leaning towards that trend, whether it's fine dining or not, where they say, okay, let's do fine dining where people can share. Which I think is very interesting and modern. Also, every time when I go back to Germany and I go out with friends and you have to choose your own main course, it's a little bit awkward because I get so used to Shanghai now or Asia now that it's always fun to share. And then you're like, oh, you order this and I can try a little bit of that. But yeah, like you said, there's no right and wrong. I do enjoy both, but I'm now always leaning towards sharing. It's just more fun. I'm curious of how certain things taste, and we just have to eat one portion. It's a bit boring.
It's so sad, yeah, right? But it's again one of those unconscious habits you gain in China. You don't know you have it until you're back.
I mean, when you're with friends and family in Europe, it's easy. Then it's very easy. But then if you're with colleagues or business partners out there, then it's a bit weird. Yeah.
Do you think there is something Chinese people misunderstand about Western dining culture?
I do think that maybe sometimes people see European dining as very stiff, which I can understand. But it is changing. It is changing with so many new restaurants and modern concepts in Europe that emphasizes sharing and a bit more casual dining. But it's also because a lot of the dining culture comes obviously from Europe, and all those unspoken rules, as you said, also comes from it. So I cannot understand both sides very much.
In Chinese, they have a saying, 台上一分钟，台下十年功. Anyway, if I translate, it would say like you are on stage for a minute, but off stage, you do 10 years of work. All we see is always the final results. But I'm sure there is a lot of unspoken things behind it. What it takes to get to this perfection.
A lot of hours, a lot of hands, a lot of tryout errors. But for our daily work, for our daily service, we have two teams right now. We have a prep team and a service team, and a total of 20 chefs. They all work around 10 to 12, sometimes a bit longer hours. So it really needs a lot of time and patience as well. And then we are aiming for our 3 hours of service, 3 to 4 hours of service, depending on what guests are there. We really spend a lot of time developing. It takes months to create a dish. Sometimes we have a dish that takes maybe a couple of weeks, but that we call it in our kitchen a no-brainer. So we have a really good idea. We visualize it already and we say, okay, this is going to work. And then we do 2, 3, 4 small adjustments and then it's done. But that happens very rare. And then we have a couple of dishes that work quite well. That takes maybe 1 month of adjustments and then another 2, 3 weeks of training. And then we have a dish that is where we try so hard, where we try maybe 2 months. And then we were like, okay, let's stop. We put that idea in the mental shelf.
Like your mental shelf.
Yeah. We put it over there. And then we say, okay, in this menu, we're not using it. And then we continue with our daily jobs. Okay. And then maybe 5 months later, we travel. Some of our chefs or cooks has an amazing idea. And we're like, hey, that idea actually works with that idea we tried 5 months ago. Maybe we should combine that. So it's a lot of try out and error, a lot of resilience we need in the kitchen, where we don't give up, where we have really an idea and it just doesn't work out. But then maybe in 8 months we found the missing puzzle piece, and then it works.
Did you ever have a case when you were like really sure about this dish that it's gonna work, and somehow it wasn't like a successful case for you?
Oh, all the time. The problem is, as a chef, you never want to admit when you're wrong or when something is maybe not 100%. And I really like to revisit dishes before we put them on the menu. So let's say it's a Saturday night, and then we finalized a tryout dish, and we're like, okay, this is it. And then 2 days later, 1 weekend later, on a Tuesday, I come in and I'm like, okay, guys, no, I don't know what happened with me, but this is not good. Like, you kind of want to, I don't know, project to yourself that, okay, no, it's fine now because there's so much time pressure and But then you also need to be mature enough and to say, okay, maybe I'm wrong. And what I also like to do is just to ask my entire team. So what we do every now and then is when we have a tryout dish, we put it in front of them and say, okay, for 2 minutes now, guys, tell me what you think is not right. And then I say, there's no hard feelings. It's just based on what you see. I'm gonna put my emotions away.
But I will remember.
I will not remember. No. But they know that like for 2 minutes, they literally can say what they want to say without any backlash or whatever. 6 eyes, 8 eyes see more than 2. And then they feel also that it's part of their work, which it should be. And we're all driving towards the same goal. I just think it's very healthy for us when we create new menus to make everyone involved.
Reaching to this level made you a calmer person or more anxious?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I actually don't know. I think it made me more grateful. It's just a good reminder that you cannot rest, but luckily our system, Taian Table system, is already built on that, that you cannot be complacent. I constantly think about the new menu, about how we can create new dishes. So our ecosystem is already sort of ruling out to not be lazy or anything. It's kind of pressure, but it's very healthy pressure. If you take it well, it's a privilege to have that. And I'm happy. It's a reason to go out to bed every morning. I'm very grateful for that, yeah.
So after this Michelin related things in your life, do you sometimes crave like a very nice bowl of noodles?
No, all the time. No, of course, everyone in the kitchen.
Do you guys eat also Michelin level food every day?
Every day, for sure not. No.
Every other day?
No, we really love street food. Everyone who works long hours in the kitchen likes something that is fast, tasty, and easy to eat. It's not complicated, and it can be anything. It can be a bowl of noodles, some baozi, can be anything, as long as it's fast and tasty.
How about tofu, stinky tofu? Say it.
I do think there's a misconception of tofu. I think tofu is amazing.
I also think, but not tofu.
But stinky tofu, absolutely not. No, I eat with my nose. Yeah, I'm also not a big fan of durian. It's just the smell. I wish I could eat it.
I also wish I could, because everybody says it's great.
Yeah, I'm just too triggered by my nose.
But probably who likes tofu, they can take durian as well.
I do think so too. Yeah, they maybe can somehow block it off.
But it's blocked.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I do think tofu is one of the most misunderstood ingredient. It's something I really enjoy here, whether it's tofu skin or silky tofu or steamed tofu. There are so many different shapes and textures and flavors to it. I always thought in Europe, during my time in Europe, that tofu is so boring. But actually, it's very interesting, except the stinky tofu.
One food that every foreigner should try before judging.
Intestines.
Oh, yeah.
No, I must say, the people here in China, they know how to cook intestines in so many different ways. Don't judge it. Like, just try first, because I do really like some of the intestines cooked here. Not all of them. Like, I'm not a big fan of stomach. Yeah. But the way they cook liver here is super good.
Do you think people are afraid to try because they know probably they would like it?
No, I don't even know why people like don't want to try it. Like, being curious is such a nice trait to have. Yeah, and if you don't like it, then just like move on. It's okay. Yeah, a lot of things I also don't like, but try.
Because sometimes I feel I don't eat intestines, but I ask like, what does it taste like? Or what is the texture? And whatever they always describe is something I'm sure I would like. I don't know. It's a very weird psychological thing.
Just because you don't like an ingredient also doesn't mean that you will never like it. That's something I realized too. I was never a big fan of sea cucumbers. I just didn't enjoy the texture. But then one time I went to a Cantonese restaurant here in Shanghai, and they made it in a very different way. It was amazing. And I was like, oh, okay, now I guess I do like it, but just in that particular way. Yeah. And that's with a lot of ingredients. I do also try durian once where I did enjoy it, but it was not smelly anymore. So that's why I enjoyed it. And it was a roasted durian. It was the fine dining restaurant in Thailand. And he took the entire durian and he roasted over charcoal until it's completely like black. And then the inside caramelizes almost. And the smell is more or less gone. It's very interesting.
Which country changed your understanding most about the food?
China. Yeah. I thought that China is just Chinese cuisine. Now I understand which one. Yeah, which one? China is so big, has so many different cuisines. Every chef should come to China to see what it's all about, what the local chefs are doing here, the ingredients they use, the vegetables they use here. It's great.
Is there any Chinese word you actually use a lot during your daily life?
Obviously, we say kuai dian a lot in the kitchen, but I also like to man man lai, step by step.
I like how those both are contradictory.
Of course, because that's how the kitchen works. In some moments, you need to speed up a little bit. You really need to push and make sure. In the end, it's all about seconds. What we do in the kitchen, we always talk in seconds. So it's important to communicate. But then when we create, then it's important to also breathe and step down and think and man malai. Let's step by step. Let's focus on the important things first, and then we move on to the next one. Yeah.
Dutch word every foreigner should know.
I think in Dutch we have a beautiful word which is gezellig.
Wow, it's a very
gezellig. Every Dutch person knows it. It's something you have at home, which you have when you eat, when you go outside. It's this feeling you have when you have a good time with people you care for, when you just can be yourself and you have a nice evening. You watch a movie or you watch something with friends and you have a cup of tea and you look around and you're like, oh, this is nice. Then we would say, oh, gezellig. Or if you say, okay, you had a nice evening and you call up your friends and you say, oh, yesterday was a nice evening. You would say, oh, it was a gezellig. Like it was a very nice evening, great time. But it's more about the feeling you have with the people around you.
I see. People impact that feeling rather than more circumstance-based.
Exactly. And the comfort with the people you have.
And 2 travel destinations you recommend people visiting China to kind of have a glimpse of China.
Number 1, obviously, Shanghai. Hey. But I'm going to exclude that one.
Oh.
Yeah. I do think Chengdu and then Yunnan, because they're both very different. Chengdu is very fast-paced, so much heat, so much spice. It's you have so much fun going out. People are very chill, but it's also the nightlife is just one of a kind in Chengdu. And then Yunnan is the opposite. Mountains, nature, different seasons. It depends where in Yunnan you're going. I love Yunnan as well. Like it's great. So both are a great destination to explore China.
It is very different from each other, right? In a way. And it's a lot to explore. Yet Chengdu, I was like surprised to see how chill they are. Like I remember how I found out when the hotel said your breakfast is until 11 o'clock. I'm like, 11 is lunch in Shanghai. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, in Chengdu, that's how we do. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. If a young foreigner asks you whether they should move to China or not, what would you tell them?
Come to China, come to Shanghai if you are ready to change. I think you should come to China. It's amazing, but you need to adapt and you need to learn. And then you will grow tremendously. I think China has so much to offer, but you need to be open to change, open to grow.
Finish the sentence. China is not hard to understand. It is
extremely welcoming once you open up.
Home is not the place, it is...
The people you're surrounded with.
What did you say?
Gezellig.
One small thing that I do every day that makes me irrationally happy.
Not every day, but swimming in the morning.
You know you have spent too much time in China when?
When you blur out Chinese words to non-Chinese people.
Fact.
Yeah. Where you're somewhere else and you're like, doi, doi, doi. Then you realize, oh, okay, maybe I spent a bit too much time in China.
Both of our conversations started with China when we were 16. And me led to music, Shanghai, stages, and to this podcast. For you, it's through your kitchens, countries, now Michelin Stars. So today, what does China mean to you? Not as a chef, but as a Christian.
Home. And it made me to the person I am now. Like, it's part of me. So yeah, I leave it by that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Christiaan. Thank you for your time. Thanks for bringing, I think, Shanghai's fine dining on the map, on a visible place. So I hope you cannot have more stars, but then I just hope you can maintain it, and then everybody around you just continue being proud of this place.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you. Cheers. Cheers, Vic.
If you like doing what you do, you don't have to work for the rest of your life. Are you there?
For sure. Already 5 years ago. I think being a chef, a cook, is one of the most beautiful jobs in the world if you really love it. You can use all your senses. I think the most beautiful part is when you're in the moment or in the zone and then look back on your watch, on your phone, and you realize, oh my God, 6 hours passed already.
That means you're doing good thing.
Exactly. That is exactly the thing. Then you know you found your job. One of the most beautiful jobs also because it gives you so much. It made me travel in so many different places. I lived in so many beautiful places and now I ended up in one of the best cities in the world. I'm very grateful. Is it one of the toughest jobs as well? Yes. Is it very hard to grow? Yes. Do I recommend it for everyone? Absolutely not. But if you have passion and you are committed to do it, go for it.